Hello, my name's Michael Newman and this is the first of several readings from my dad's book. My dad's book is called And the Sun Will Shine, Conversations with My Father. And it's basically a book that tells the life of my grandfather, William Newman, from 1884 to 1972. But it's an interesting book because my father is also a character in the book and sort of relives moments of his father's life. It was written by my dad in bed within the last 2 years of his life, as he lay there in the study that he had built on as an extension to the house, and he could look from his bed out into the garden that he so much loved and look at the hills opposite, because his house, shared with his family and chosen by his wife, was in the bottom of a valley with a river flowing at the bottom of the garden. So I'll start. My first reading is going to be the first chapter of the book, because it tells of why Dad's writing the book and his relationship with his parents. My father has been described as a man who commanded much respect and attracted deep affection from people in all walks of life. They included lords and peers of the realm, bishops and military men, but those who mattered most to him were his workmates, those who worked with him deep beneath the earth, deep below the ground. They were a particular breed of men, the miners. They worked in the dark. They were hewers of coal. Each day they would walk from home to the pit. Each day, early in the darkness of the morning, there sounded that gathering crescendo, the tramping of feet, the pit boots heavy against the road. The men were now gathering, a mass of shadows in the morning darkness. It was the early morning shift. There were young, fresh-faced youths, 13 and 14 years old, straight from school. There were old men, stocky, upright, their faces lined, pitted with black, the imprint of coal that marked their lives. A sense of wanness pervaded the early morning, like the moistness of the rising air greeting the glimmer of a new dawn. There was the heavy sound of pit boots, and then there was silence. A sense of quiet resolution filled the air, and there was silence. Willie Newman was one of those men. He did not stand out in the crowd. He was just one of these hundreds of men, quiet and unprepossessing. He was of physique, short and stocky, exhibiting like the others a natural strength and fitness derived from the hard nature of their work, swinging a pick for most of the day, hewing coal day after day. This is what these pitmen did in the darkness of the earth, each hour of each day. And so it was in the 1930s that I, his son, was born in 1927. I would hear my mother and father go downstairs. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. They were up. Father was having his breakfast before going to work. It was the early morning shift. I was a young child at the time. Mother was an excellent cook and would often make a large mince pie. I would creep downstairs, peep through the banisters, drawn by the smell of breakfast and the thought of a slice of the mince pie. But in those days, the place of the child was to be seen and not heard. And so, satisfied with my mince pie, I would creep back off to bed. I would not see my father again until 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when he would come home from work. Soon after he had arrived home, he would have his dinner and then go into the room which he used as his office and have a couple of hours' sleep on the settee. Mother would call him at set times. He would have arranged and ordered his day. Father was very methodical and ensured that he would use those precious moments of his time to good purpose. He would be engaged in attending to union business, arranging meetings, meeting workfolk and listening to their problems. On some days, the house would be like a doctor's surgery, with 4 or 5 people seated in the other room waiting to see my father. Sometimes they sought advice on work or union-related problems. Sometimes it related to more personal problems, including legal advice. He had learnt much concerning the law through hard experience and from consulting with his solicitor friends. If he did not know the answer to a question, he knew where to look for it. During this time, as a young child, I didn't see a great deal of my father. There was little time for home life. There was little time for family play, which was left to mother, though a great time was had at Christmas and Easter festivals. So that's the start of the story. The story goes on to describe my grandfather's childhood and then how he became involved as union leader to the Kent miners and Kent County Councillor. So please do listen to my further readings. Thank you. Bye bye.